We are live, so it must be Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern. It is. It is. So if you're catching this live, say hello on any of our platforms. If you sign into StreamYard, I'll be able to see your name. If not, I can still see you anyway. So welcome to another Friday Focus. Um, what is it? Almost the end of April, and it's still cold. But today we're not talking about the weather. We're talking about whether we put out a poll, which is something we've been doing lately. You can find that on LinkedIn and our Facebook groups. And we asked you what stops you from doing what you really want. And yesterday, the top answer was what other people might think. The answers changed today, so we'll do another segment about this. But yesterday, everyone told me that what other people might think is what stops them from going after what they really want. And that doesn't surprise me. I've seen it over my 25 plus years as a coach. I think it's very unfortunate because, hey, first of all, most of the time, what we think other people are thinking, they're not even thinking. So you're just wasting your time, right? Um, but let me put this into some specifics for you. Okay, so there's a lot of projection going on where when either we get people objecting to what we're doing or we think that people are going to be upset with us if we do something. So what's projection? Projection is when you put what you're feeling onto somebody else and then you think it's true coming from them, right? Or so anyway, let me give you examples. So there's something you really want to do and you're afraid of what other people are going to think. Now, did you even ask the other people what they think? So if you're operating on a fiction, right, on an assumption, you're already screwing yourself over, right? So I have a great example of this. It's in my Now What book, I think. So I worked with a gentleman who had been a major white collar executive with a financial firm, and he'd reached a certain age and had been let go and was having a hard time getting a new job and had been unemployed for a couple of years. And locally in his town, someone who owned the local fish store, who had used to be an executive like he was, asked him if he wanted to buy it. And he was like, be a fishmonger? I can't be a fishmonger. My kids want to go to the same private schools. They want to live in this big house. I what would people think of me? So, he brought me back all these assumptions. And I said, well, did you talk to any of these people? Or are you just projecting that that's what they're going to say? Aha, he was projecting. He went and talked to his kids. He talked to his family, talked to other people. The kids were like, Dad, the last couple of years you've been around and we love it. And if you work downtown in a store, we'd see you every day. We don't care if we have to live in a smaller house. We don't care if we have to change schools. So lo and behold, everything he was projecting that he thought they were going to think was not true. And he did make that change and he did do that for several years. Now, the other thing is when other people project their fears onto you. So they object to what you're doing, right? Like, what you're gonna change jobs, you're gonna give up this career. Oh my gosh, you're crazy. So here's my motto: when everyone tells you you're crazy, you're probably on the right track. Because now I'm not talking about mental illness. I'm just talking about people projecting that, "Oh, you're going for sure thing. You're nuts," right? You're on the right track. You're onto something. How do I know? Because what those people are doing, projecting onto you, their fear. They don't have the courage to do it. They wouldn't give up that sure thing for whatever reason they have. So therefore, for them to feel okay, they're saying you're not okay. You're crazy. I would never do anything like that. You're nuts. All right. So great indication that you're probably onto something. And what's happening is you're upsetting the status quo. So there's projection and there's objections. When someone in your household is like, you're gonna do what? You're gonna start a business, you're gonna change jobs. What? There, you've just upset the status quo. You've just upset the apple cart of your home, right? So that's what people are reacting to, right? What happens to me? Does that mean I have to make more money? How is this change going to affect everybody? Right? So anytime you're telling me that you are not making a change or not doing something you want because of what other people will think or may think or are thinking, you're telling me that you stop listening to yourself and that you have to really consider the source of all these objections and projections because you you're just upsetting everybody. It's a ripple effect, and it's okay. They need to be responsible for their reaction. Yes, in a partnership, in a marriage, in a family, you're going to work it out. But to see that 50% of people answered our poll and said that they stop themselves from what they really want because they're afraid of what other people will think, I want you to just remember what you think they're thinking is probably not what they're thinking. And then what you think they're thinking is probably not for the reasons that should stop you from doing anything. All right. So drink that all in if that wasn't enough for a Friday morning. Hope it wasn't too confusing. And the guy who had the fish store did it successfully for several years before he sold it and did something else, and the family was fine. All right, everyone. Happy Friday. Have a good one. I'll see you next time on Friday Focus, 10 a.m. Eastern.